Hello and welcome to the Record Club, brought to you by Record Store Day, the official chart, and National Album Day, and proudly in association with Bowes and Wilkins. My name is Jess Iszatt. Thank you for joining us. We're very excited to say that our guest this evening is Yussef Dayes to talk all about his new album, Black Classical Music. We're going to be spending the next half an hour or so talking to Yussef about the brilliant new record, and then we're going to be putting forward some of your questions about the album for him to answer. So if you want to get involved, drop us a question in the comments section below, and I'm going to be asking a selection of them in the second half of our chat. Remember, one lucky person who sends in a question today will randomly be selected to win a pair of Bowes & X7 over-ear noise cancelling headphones, which is a wicked prize. Don't miss out. Get your questions to us. I have the new record here in my hand, so we thoroughly recommend you order one from your local record store once this chat is over. So let's get straight to this week's Record Club and say a big hello to Yussef Dayes.
Yo.
How are we doing?
Yeah, I'm all good. Just in Paris right now.
I know, very cool. So what are you doing in Paris, very quickly?
Marnie, company that I work with, they did their first Fashion Week show. So yeah, we was on the runway. I was next to Joe Crooks.
Wow, their first fashion show, and it's in Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah. I mean, they've been around for like a while, but this is the first time they've been part of Paris Fashion Week like this. So it's cool, man. Yeah, big vibe.
Nice. And each week on the Record Club, we like to kick things off with a question from one of the many amazing independent record stores in the UK. This week's question comes from James at Slip Discs, and I can tell he's a big fan. He said, the album provides the listener with influence sounds which can be derived from a whole list of visionaries on the inner sleeve dedications. Whilst the album has a fresh and contemporary sound, has it been your intention to get people to listen to back catalogues of the visionaries?
Not necessarily. I feel like that's I kind of left that for you to decide. I just wanted to show some inspiration, I suppose, behind Taiwan, just a bit of context of my opinion on the music that maybe just can give you inclinations of the journey that this album takes you on, But at the same time, I suppose I'm still just, channeling myself and my story, but it's just a little ode also to these inspirations and music that I kind of grew up on, which I think kind of led me to this point. So I think I kind of left it there, if people that read the linear notes, then you might be interested. Also, just go and check some of these other artists that are amazing and definitely inspired me. But that's kind of, I think, if you read it, then you will see.
Yeah, if you've yet to get your hands on a copy, the paragraph that has so many inspirations is probably the chunkiest there. But I mean, it's a pretty beautiful dedication all the same, like with everyone.
I mean, there's probably some artists that I pretty could have. Now I look at it, I'm like, oh damn, I pretty missed off of, there's loads. It's a limitless. It's to be added to, but I think it's kind of like initially probably the main chunk of musicians and people that have definitely inspired me.
No, I think you captured the essence, definitely. Like, I mean, there's a lot to get stuck into. Obviously, I have to say congratulations on a beautiful record. It has been out a couple of weeks now. What's it like on reflection? Because I feel like you probably had a bit of time to sort of come down from the release.
Yeah, it's been really nice. I've had some really amazing messages from people and family and friends as well, and just been cool to kind of hear different nuances that I didn't even really know. Not know, but like just different details that people have picked up on, and just some of the skits and stuff that I kind of, obviously I know it's not like you live in a world of streaming and stuff, so it's like those kind of things are maybe not the super streamers, but it's been nice that people have maybe listened to it as a whole piece, and which is kind of what I wanted it intended to be listened to. Like I know there's singles and stuff, but my main intention is kind of like a full album play, and it feels like a lot of people have have taken that in. And I know it's 19 tracks, so it's kind of a journey. But yeah, no, it's just been special, man. I've really enjoyed the last couple of weeks, and yeah, it kind of feels like I can kind of have a bit of retrospective now. But yeah, kind of still excited for what's to come as well. So yeah.
You know what? It's one of those things. I hope people don't look at the time of it or like the number of tracks and think, oh, okay, maybe for another time. I remember I did see, and I was like, wow, this is chunky. He's had a lot to deal with here. But I feel like when it's like produced, or like when it's produced as a body of work and not standalone songs, it doesn't feel like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I feel like actually because a lot of things now are so fast paced and like our attention span is so short, it's quite, maybe it's just a different path to taking time with records or putting a vinyl and then just letting it play and kind of just having access. You could be doing what you're doing in the house, you could just let it wash over you, or you might hear particular tunes and you can zone in and get the details. And so I feel like the fact that it's kind of like a long play like this, and you're going to hear different details, and I feel like that's the albums I really like the Fugees or whatever their albums. You can do like a motorway drive of it, and you get all the little nuances and the details and the skits. And I definitely kind of wanted to have it at that angle, and I feel like I didn't intentionally like know it was going to be this long. These are just the collection of songs that I felt were right for this record. But yeah, you got to break them off a little bit, man.
And obviously I know it's your solo debut, but you're a stranger to the album as a whole. I mean, the collaborative projects recently and just bodies of work like this, what's so important to you about an album?
I think you can just get a bit more context behind our artist, and also sometimes like one song by itself, it's cool. Like singles are cool, and like you can do some really powerful one tunes as well, of course. But actually, when you listen to like a flow of music that feels like there's links to it, it just has a different kind of vibe, And like I said, like a lot of the music I grew up on was usually like albums. There might have been like particular songs in the album that I gravitate towards, but then sometimes you hear the B side or just other skits or other elements that you're like, rah, that's like just gives you a different insight into the artist's mind or whatever, whatever you're going to see it. And yeah, like we talking about, you can kind of just wash over you as well. You can be doing what you're doing and you can just let it play, and it feels cohesive. It's not just like random playlist or because I was starting to bug out because sometimes I feel like some of the other songs around it, I'd rather my music actually have other music around it, and I feel like obviously all the streaming sites, they do these playlists now, and it's cool. Like I'm not dissing it, but I feel like just having an album that has similar sounds, it's in the same studios and stuff, just kind of almost in a way could be its own playlist as well as an album. So yeah, I'll be playing my daughter one of the Spotify playlists, Apple Music playlists, and then suddenly goes to like something random. Not that I did not like the other music, but it just like I just felt like there's so much other songs it could have gone with, and the stuff they've chosen, I feel like was just stuff that's kind of just trying to put into this like UK jazz thing or whatever. And actually, there's like there's so much other music it relates to as well, So
I feel like you can just tell you're like the producer, musician that's like so in it. Just thinking about like where it's framed and where it's sat is just, I mean, it's just a different perspective, isn't it? But like you're right, it's just placing it next to other UK jazz doesn't necessarily complement it. And I think, I think you've got so much in here as well. I feel like it's been mentioned a few times. I can see lots of people getting stuck in with the fan questions. I've just got one thing before we get there. I want to talk about the artwork, and I just feel like not just this but also and I feel like it basically sums up what you're trying to say with the album, right? Like it's a lot of family, it's a lot of people that I'm guessing these are all your family. It could be wrong.
Yeah. You've got my family, you've got the band in there. Some like there's Chronics in there. I didn't get everybody that's on the record on the collage. I, in hindsight, probably should have, but yeah, that was kind of where I got to.
It's so like nostalgic. I love it. Did you put this together?
Yeah, so basically, we in my family house, we've got this collage, and there's an original version of this, and it was just obviously me and my brothers and my mum and dad, and then I've obviously added my daughter. You've got the band in there. You've got like other people that are part of the record. So we kind of updated it, but there is an original version of this collage that we kind of just like, you know, added another layer to it.
Who's this guy up here?
And, yeah, you know, that's my dad. That's my dad. And behind is the house that's the family house. My mum and dad built our house.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, you see the house.
And also, yeah. Who's this? Is this you or is this?
Yeah, that's me. That's me. That's me when I was about 9 years old with a friend. Mum took these photos, and that's on our veranda. And obviously, my mum's on the last track of the record, and yeah, she passed away in 2015. So the album's kind of many different things. Like, you know, it's dedicated to many different things, but obviously, like for me, this is also you know, dedication to my mum. And it was kind of pointing that I had all these photos, and because upstairs, you know, she put all our photos that over the years in like different compartments, and like so me and my brothers got our own box. So we just would say the inside will sit close to the team up with that photo. It's a different photo, but it's part of that same. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, the afro. Yeah, it's in the one of the vinyl sleeves. If you pull out one of, I think the first pocket.
Oh, I've got them all. I've got them literally all laid out. Can you tell?
Yeah, yeah, that one. So that shot at the front. That shot at the front. Yeah. So that's part of the same day.
So insane. They're basically like, you never know how important these photos are going to be until like much later.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, I've been seeing these all over the years, and I was like, I felt like this was the right time to kind of, you know, the debut album felt like I can kind of tell my story and you know, just tapping into that childlike mentality. I've got my daughter on the light, and she's definitely changed my life. And just, I feel like also, it's not so much like it's super nostalgic or retrospective. It's just also, for me, that energy when I first started playing drums. As you can hear in early days on the skit in early days, where you hear me in the back shouting, "My dad, where's the drumstick?" And I start banging before chasing the drum. And you're not thinking about career or nothing. It's just the passion of it, the energy of it, and like I always just try and remember that, because sometimes, you know, you can kind of lose sight of that, and that takes that element out. But I think these last couple of years, I've just tried to get back into like, why did I first start playing drums? This is who I am. You know, this is what makes me feel a certain way. You know, and, I think
Bahia Dayes, already a name on the record. We're getting out there, following in the footsteps of her dad's. Right, okay. AK on the Record Club's is saying, "Hi Yussef, who are your role model drummers, and who did you channel to make this LP?"
Okay. So the government, I've pretty spoken about them on interviews now. Legendary drummer, you got Carlton Barrett, Milford Graves, Tony Allen, Tony Williams, Max Roach, J.R. Robinson, Steve Gadd, Idris Mohammed, Art Blakey. Yeah, the list is endless. But I'd say that's a pretty good start. And in terms of channeling, I would say I'm channeling myself. You know, those people are definitely, you know, with the techniques and their music has inspired me. But from an early age, I was like, I want to make sure I have my own style and my own sound. And even that's what Billy Cobham had told me. It's what Tony Allen, when I spoke to Tony Allen, that's what he said. It's just like, you can imitate and learn, but at some point you have to let people know who you are. So I'm only channeling, you know, my spirit, and I think through that you might hear different influence. I wouldn't say I'm channeling someone in particular, just my own journey and who I am.
I feel like we still need some more female drummers. Is Bahia gonna like follow in your footsteps?
Bahia is playing the drums, playing the drums. I could Cindy Blackman is an amazing drummer. Someone else coming, he's incredible, and yeah, I think that's definitely even a march and I'm gonna say we were saying we need more ladies in the march and dance. So yeah, definitely.
Good to hear. Hazzy on the Record Club's Twitter says, "Hi Yussef, my question is about how you start writing your inspiration come from."
I just go with how I'm feeling at the time, you know. I just try not to what I'm gonna do and just let it happen and like exploring different sounds or getting like a new synth or a new drum, you know, like a new drum to add to this leads to the idea being born. But usually it comes out of this, yeah, just like how I'm feeling in the moment, you know, or something's happened like when I made these my mum had just passed, so that was like I was channeling all my energy to like, you know, just that feeling of like maybe not so much sadness but just the grieving. And then I think this record, obviously my daughter's been born, it was COVID, coming out of COVID, and there's a lot going on, and I felt like I was just, you know, I'm a hustler, man. I'm trying to get the music out there. So it's just a sense of just how you feeling in the moment, you know, and being free up, not putting too much pressure on. Because I think sometimes when you're like, oh, we need to make a song like this, or I've been in the studios where I'd be like, producers like, we gotta make a hit, and you're just like, bugging out, and then you're just overthinking it. But actually, when you just take away the elements of it and just make how you're feeling, express yourself, that's usually when the best thing happens. And giving the initial idea or the initial jam. So a lot of this album is like the first time you create the idea and then you turn it into a song instead of like replaying it 100 times and you kind of take the life out of, you know. So
Yeah, just to add to that, like, how do you find the inspiration to name the songs? So is it your channeling? For example, Gelato.
yeah. Well, Gelato, it's a particular strain of herb that, you know, we're up to, and feel like I look forward to the floor, you know, but then you've got the Afro influence. The toms are kind of like super tubby, so that one started with the drums. That one started with the drums, and I got Charlie to come and overdub some things, and then we kind of built a lot. And you might add other elements on top, but like a core of like the drums, the bass, the guitar, piano. It's a big vibe.
Tubby, I like that. Non-music question, but what's your favourite gelato?
Where's my
flavour?
Pistachio.
Yes, I knew we'd be friends.
Yeah.
I do actually have a final question from someone who's got involved called Faith on the Record Club's Instagram. She's asking, was Raising the Sun a reference to Langston Hughes?
Langston Hughes. Is he the writer behind the film?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. If he's the writer behind the film Raising Under the Sun, then yeah. But I was reading the Dapper Dan book and he references the film, which got Sidney Poitier in it. And a good friend of mine, Barker, uses the term Reckoning Under the Sun. I feel like in London we're a little bit deprived of it, so it's kind of a play on the Dapper Dan book and his mention of it, and also Reckoning Under the Sun. So yeah. And Raisins, Bayer loves raisins, so that's kind of his little.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Yussef Dayes, for joining us so much. I know you have to get off, and also good luck on tour. Not only that, the Royal Albert Hall as well. That's going to be insane. But yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm very jealous of anyone who's got a ticket for that. But yeah, of course, everyone at home, please make sure you've got yourself a physical copy of Black Classical Music. Now it's over, get one from your local record store. Make sure to support your local. I'm also excited to announce that the winner of this week's Bowers & Wilkins Wireless Headphones Prize is Cue drum roll from Yussef Dayes. Faith on the Record Club's Instagram. That's special. You just got your own drum roll from Yussef Dayes. Please slide into the Record Club's DMs. We'll get those headphones to you. Thank you everyone for joining us and sending in your questions. My name is Jess Iszatt, and all previous episodes are available to one new Spotify channel as well. So check that out. I'll see you for the next episode of the Record Club. Yussef Dayes, thank you so much.
Thank you.